Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.
Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you want to have a good time, just give me a call.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Yeah, you can see, Jack McLamb been around in the early days before the internet, before it was newsletters, it was fax trees, it was going around and speaking to people. And the primary, I would say, group of people that were in opposition to what was happening were, kind of a Christian-oriented militia, patriot, the Constitution. We believe in the Constitution. The Constitution is a divine document that you are violating, and that's where a lot of the Christian right kind of got involved in this constitutional thing, because they were of the opinion that the Constitution, they took that real serious. Like oaths and stuff, that was serious business to these people. And then Yeah. And then what happens, and all of a sudden everything that Jack McLamb and his friends were predicting started to happen. So they started getting a lot more attention, a lot more respect, and a lot more, what is it that you really know? Because a lot of the people that subscribe to your Aid and Abet newsletter were people in law enforcement and the military that would communicate with you things that they knew were happening to them, were they not?
That's right, yes.
But what were the kind of things that they were telling you?
Well, in the last 5 years, we've had 7 Iraqi war vets come home and get a hold of us and tell us that weekly they were told to put their M16s to the heads of little girls and little boys and blow their brains out, and they can't sleep at night. Every time they try to sleep, they see the heads of little boys and little girls blowing up. These are young kids, and then they have to kill their mom and dad too. And if they told us if they refused to do it, within 3 days they were suicided by the government, and they would send a letter home to the family saying, "Sorry, your son killed himself," but he didn't. The government did that. And that's why there's such a high rate of suicides today in the government, in the military. And so we have intel coming in all the time. We just had a military intel guy get a hold of me. I had a top secret clearance in the military and was stationed at these secret intel bases back in the jungles here and there across the world, and I still have contacts there, and they told me that this shooting in Tucson was an Operation Open Eyes mind control assassin. This Jared Lungner was a mind control assassin, just like Timothy McVeigh stated that he was mind controlled, and so anyway, we have good information coming in all the time, and
well, let's get to, because we have a lot of story. You go to Freedom's Phoenix. This is one thing that I've done in anticipation of our show today What I did is that if you go and you look at the top, it says Freedom's Phoenix Morning News Dispatch and Afternoon Dispatch. And because what I had done when we did our shows before, when I used to be on the local morning drive here and such, I would take the morning show's news break. It was, I don't know, CNN or whatever it was, and our Associated Press, and depends on which station I was on. But they had a news break that was a few minutes, and I kind of left that part of the show so that a decade later, it's years later, 5, 7 years later, when you listen to these shows, what you find out is that, the news breaks were so interesting in looking back what was in the news at the time. Bush does this, Ashcroft does that, Rumsfeld's doing whatever, the war is, more bills against your freedoms, blah, 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 and it kind of time stamps it. So what we started doing, we were starting to link to our daily archive. From now on, we're going to put what the news that was sent out on Freedom's Phoenix email dispatch, what was the news that day while I was talking to you. And a lot of it, if you go to Freedom's Phoenix right now, I mean, dang, it's all the stuff that you had been anticipating was coming. So now I'm like, what is your daily activity filled with now? Are you still warning people? I know you have a radio show. You're warning people. Are you preparing? Are you encouraging younger families, more people to come there? Are you being selective and they have to be born-again Christians to go to your county? I mean, what is it that you're advocating people do in light of what's happening now?
Well, to get prepared, to go out and fight a good fight, as Ephesians 5:11 says, do not participate in the unfruitful deeds of darkness, but instead expose them, just like you're doing, Ernest, and I'm proud of you for doing that. And back in the Bible, another place it says, stand up against the evil ones and rise up against the workers of iniquity. That's God's own words to us. So I tell them to keep doing that, but also prepare your family now. Get preparation done, buy your ammunition and weapons today, because one day you may not be able to get them very soon, perhaps, because of things like this shooting here the other day. They're trying to do these events every year or so to make the American people think they need to give up their guns.
One thing that happens, we had a meeting yesterday, and some of the young guys were talking about different projects we're working on. And one of the guys goes, hey, man, you can buy that many rounds, extendable magazines for these. I ordered them, and they were $12 a piece. I'm going, yeehaw. So they had it. We had an article on Freedom's Phoenix today. It was from the Arizona Republic yesterday, saying that the gun dealers, they doubled their Glock sales.
That's right.
So people are, I don't think they're looking at this as, ooh, I want to be like him. It's just that they could see the capacity of the firearm, and they're going, well, I want one, and they go get it for self-defense. They're going, look, I want to have this capacity. I got, guess what? Bad guys have this capacity. I'm a good guy. I should have the capacity the bad guys have. That's the only way they see it, So any kind of control they try and do on arms controls, it just backfires every time. But there's something else going on. And I don't really, even claim to try and understand it, other than freedom's the answer, what's the question? And and even they have this 9-year-old, her father, she was born on 9/11, she's killed, he goes on to CNN, and they were trying to get him to say that we need more gun control and the internet needs to be controlled and all this, rhetoric that's going on. And he's like, no, we don't need more restrictions on our freedoms. And they didn't like that. So what happens is that now I think this is more focused on, I'm sure there'll be some gun stuff going, but I don't think that's going to flush with the American people. So I think what's going to happen is they're really looking to get more controls on what we say and what we do and what we publish.
That's exactly what Abomination is trying to do right now with his Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act. And he has his federal police and intelligence forces out there targeting Americans right now that opposed him and his communist government today.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. and you've known me a long time, and mine is, I'm like, you're still voting? I mean, I don't care. And you put Obama, the next guy after him, and the next guy after him, am I allowed not to care? And I just don't acknowledge him. What's going to happen is a free market of ideas will prevail. People will start to trade in whatever things of value that outside of the Federal Reserve. They're going to start just ignoring law or trying to at least avoid them. The big thing, people that get into arguments with police officers, blah, 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 to protest. And why are you wasting your time with them? I mean, even the police trainer we had on yesterday, he was saying, yeah, no, you're wasting time. These guys are already corrupted. I mean, they're done. So what do? You go to Idaho. That's what you do. You go hide. You go just try and survive this thing. And is that one of your strategies, is just to survive and be able to, breathe in and out after this?
Well, no, we're going to take the war to them if they bring the war to us. So we're getting ready to fight. And so we didn't go up there to hide. We just went up to an area where we could possibly survive better than in the cities. They're going to lock down the cities very soon and put everybody there under this totalitarian system.
Wow.
Listen, I've got to go, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Jack. It's been great spending time with you. Goodbye.
Ernest, thank you so much for what you're doing for God and America, brother. I love you.
It's my pleasure, and it's always good to talk to you. Be
God
well.
Bless you. Take care.
Yeah, we'll be back. I tell you, this is what, the mindset of a lot of people are. They're going, no, here and no further. And as you get later in life, it's going to be the grandpas and the great-grandpas that, you know what, I'm staying right here. What happens then? This is Ernest Hancock. I'm publisher of freedomsphoenix.com and the radio talk show host of Declare Your Independence. Now, I want to give you my personal endorsement of a wealthy U.S. citizen that is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He's produced a video for you. It's a real eye-opener, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to watch it. www.endofamerica, the numbers 1 and 7.com. Endofamerica17.com. This video has the history of how we got where we are now and where we're going and why. Now, it's a lengthy video. It'll be about 20 minutes, but you need to watch this so you understand what's going to happen to this country and how you can protect your wealth and even benefit financially. Now, you go there. It's free. I want you to watch this video. You need to have this information so that you can survive the economic collapse that's coming to America. It's not if, it's when. That's End of America, the numbers 1 and 7.com. After you watch it, you'll understand why I endorse it.